All right, let's say that your car was negligently repaired. Either they made the problem worse, they didn't fix the problem, or they created a whole new problem altogether. How would you approach this in a small claims action? So, obviously, you have to demand relief. You have to send them some kind of request to be compensated for the money that you spent or the invoice that you're not going to pay. Maybe you can still work this out without having to go to court. Next, before you actually file the small claim summons with the court, download the packet, fill it out, and then send that to the shop representative. It should be the manager, the supervisor, the owner. That will put them on notice that this is what I'm planning to do. Oftentimes that will get their attention, that will bring them to the proverbial negotiating table with you so you can make a reasonable demand, and maybe they're going to give that car one more chance before they say, oh, go ahead, sue me in court. They might realize that their case is much stronger than yours. I don't know what your case is. I'm giving you advice that is going to be general. This is not legal advice. So if you've gotten to the point now where you have to bring your small claim suit, then get it done, handle all the procedural aspects. That's not what this video is about. Make sure that they're served. Make sure that you give them all of the exhibits that you plan to show the commissioner or judge at least 10 days prior to your hearing. Okay. At the hearing, make sure you have the following. First, the written copy of the estimate, which describes the specific problem that you brought your car in to have repaired. Next, some kind of documentation, whether it's a video, which is quite helpful if we're dealing with, knocking sounds, some kind of vibration, some kind of performance issue. It's far easier to demonstrate that with a video, which you can show to the judge in court. Make sure you bring your laptop or iPad and have that video queued and ready and your iPad charged. So that can be a very clear manifestation of the problem that still exists. Make sure there's a way to validate the date that video was taken. You can either show the metadata, if that's believable, or an old-fashioned way is to record a newspaper, because if you show that current day's newspaper, there's no way that this could be any time in the future, right? You can't print tomorrow's newspaper today. So if you want to include that in your video, that's one way, an old-fashioned way you can document objectively the date that you took that video. It can also be an older video if you use an older newspaper, so don't do that. Use the current date so you can show that this followed the date of the repair. All right? If this isn't making sense, let me explain it one more way. You need the video to show a date after the repair was made to show that this wasn't the original problem. This was the problem that existed after the repair was made. Okay, that's why you want to somehow prove the date. All right, next, you also want to bring in a clear evidence of what you paid for that repair if you're seeking to get your money back. Now, if you haven't paid anything, it's unlikely you're going to have a claim for damages because you haven't suffered a loss yet. But you also, if you haven't paid anything yet because maybe you've refused to pay, you could bring in a third-party estimate of what it's going to take to fix the problem. So if you can get another quote, which I always recommend you do when there's a dispute like this, get that quote to show, here is what the problem is, here is what that last repair center did wrong, here is what it's going to cost to fix it. Those things will absolutely be crucial. The problem with many people when they go to small claims court and they claim that the repair center performed negligently, they don't have the ability to show causation. You need to show causation. You need to show that but for what the repair center did or did not do, your car would be working properly. Next, was there any kind of warranty that was provided on that service? Oftentimes you'll get at least a 30-day, sometimes it's a 90 to 1 year warranty on parts and labor. And if they refused to honor it, then make sure you have a copy of that warranty paperwork in the plain language as an exhibit and highlight the most relevant portions so the judge can get right to that exhibit and right to the most relevant portions in that exhibit to find that maybe the repair center breached their contractual obligation to provide warranty support. Oh yes, I have a dog. All right, next. If you can get a bar report, this isn't California Bar, this is Bureau of Automotive Repair. That can be very useful third-party, objective, and very credible evidence to show that this is a third party, they don't have a conflict of interest. It's not like you're using the statement of the repair center who has an obvious conflict of interest, because they're always going to try to find a way to say it wasn't their fault. The Bureau of Automotive Repair investigation will be very useful, and the finding, if it's in your favor, is definitely going to help you. If it's not, well, you may not want to present that. So to summarize, you want to bring in the initial estimate that shows that they understood what the problem was. You want to bring in some kind of documentation to show that they didn't fix the issue. He loves being in my videos. You want to bring in third-party estimates of what it's going to take to repair the issue, as well as their third-party diagnosis of what the problem is and what it will take to repair it. You want to quantify your damages based on what you've spent and or what you will need to spend to fix a problem that they arguably created. You want to bring in any proof of warranty that you got from the repair center or from the original manufacturer's warranty that it should still be covered under. You also want to bring in your Bureau of Automotive Repair report if you've received that, and evidence in some form, ideally video if it's a dynamic problem other than, just body damage. Some video that you've corroborated the date with to show that this problem exists after the repair was made. All right, these things will greatly bolster your chances for recovery in small claims court. Don't do what most people do and expect that they will just explain what happened. You need to prove what happened. Let your exhibits do the talking. You are there to guide the judge to the exhibits. I hope this helps. If you found this helpful, or you didn't but you just like my dog, then let me know. And if there are other topics that you would find helpful for me to summarize for you and give you some tips from a lawyer on how to proceed in small claims court in California, then leave a comment. This is not legal advice. This is informational only. This is only applicable to California. I am a licensed attorney, but I am not your attorney unless we have an active representation agreement in place. Thank you.